Alright, hi guys, good morning. So this video is going to help you with the assignment today. Now make sure that you do have a calculator ready for you to use. So let's go ahead and practice. You're going to have an assignment on solving problems involving the volume of a sphere. So yesterday we developed the formula and we're going to go ahead and put it into practice today. Now what is a sphere? So a sphere is a three-dimensional object, and this three-dimensional object actually doesn't have bases, but the entire surface is curved. There's no basis to it. What it does have is it has a radius that is exactly the same at any point of the sphere. So if we imagine a point in the center of a sphere extending to touching the edge of the sphere, it's the same everywhere. That is what we call a sphere. So I put some examples right here. You know, a soccer ball is a sphere, a basketball is a sphere, a tennis ball, a baseball, a volleyball, but just not a football. Why? Because the radius would be different in different parts of the football. So for that reason, the football is not considered a sphere. Now, if you look at your formula chart, sphere for volume, and we have a formula right there. So pretty much as long as we use the formula, we are going to be okay. Now notice how the other formulas, like for cone, for cylinder, and for a cone, they had a capital B in them. And guess what? The one for sphere doesn't. Why? Because spheres don't have a base. What it does have, it has the 4/3, it has pi, and then it has radius to the power of 3. So in your notebook, let's go ahead and write this down. Volume is equal to 4/3 pi times radius to the power of 3. Now let's not forget that the power of 3 means that I'm going to be multiplying radius times radius times radius. So radius by itself, 3 times. So if I expand this out, it would be something like times pi times radius times radius times radius. So what values do we need to know to use the formula? The only value that I need to know is the radius, because obviously this is just a number. This is also just a number. So I need to figure out in the picture where the radius is at. So I need to know the radius. And so the radius is from the center touching the edge of the sphere right there. Let's go ahead and practice. Find the volume of the sphere. Use 3.14 for pi. Round your answer to the nearest hundredth. So first things first is step 1, write your formula. Volume is equal to 4/3 pi radius to the power of 3. Find the necessary values. Well, the only thing I need to find is r, radius. Now look at your picture. This is a sphere. So I wrote down the correct formula. And from center to touching the edge of the sphere, that's going to tell us the radius. Therefore, I do know the radius. R equals 11. So I found my formula. I found what I needed to know. All that I need to do next is substitute the values and solve. So volume is equal to 4/3. Now pi, I'm going to go ahead and write it down as 3.14. That's what they told me to do. Times radius, times radius, times radius. So now it's just a matter of typing all of this into the calculator. Now I know the calculator, some of us are not sure how to type a fraction, so let me go ahead and show you. You're going to go to your calculator, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in all the other numbers first, and then I'll type the calculator, I'll type the numbers first, and then I'll type the fraction after. So what do we have? We have 3.14 times, and then we had 11 times 11 times 11. So that's pi times radius times radius times radius. Now I need my fraction, which is still a multiplication. So I'm going to put times. Now my fraction is also a division problem. So I'm going to go ahead and say 4 divided by 3. That's my 4/3 right there. So there, I typed everything that I needed. I typed the pi, the radius, the radius, the radius, because it's power to the power of 3, and then I typed my 4/3. So that is going to be my final answer right there. 5,572 point. Now they told me to round to the nearest hundredth, which means this second digit right there. So I'm going to go ahead and round it to a 0.45 because the neighbor is a 3. So I'm going to go ahead and keep it. So volume is approximately 5,000. Oops, I forgot already. Let's see. 5,572.45. 572.45, and these are cubic centimeters, centimeters cubed, okay? And that's it, that is our volume. But guess what? Let's try one where they don't give us the radius. What if they give us something other than the radius? Let's try this one right here. So this one says, find the volume of the sphere, use 3.14 for pi, round your answer to the nearest hundredth. Okay, so first of all, it's a sphere, so I'm going to write down my formula. Volume is equal to 4/3 times pi times radius to the power of 3. So I wrote my formula, done. Find the necessary values. Now I need radius. Look at your picture. This is not a radius. It's going all the way from one end of the sphere to the other end of the sphere. This is what we call a diameter. And I need the radius. So in order for me to get the radius, I pretty much have to cut this in half. So if I do cut it in half, that means I would divide 15 divided by 2, and that gives me 7.5. So now I know that the radius is actually 7.5. So be careful that you are using the radius in the formula. So in the formula, I should use the 7.5. I should not use the 15. So I found my necessary values. Radius is equal to 7.5. Now I'm ready to just plug into my formula. Volume is equal to 4/3 times pi times radius times radius times radius. Now let's just go ahead and type it into the calculator. Remember, I'm going to type all of this in first, and then I'll go ahead and type the fraction. (3.14) times radius times radius times radius. Okay, now I need to type in that 4/3 that's also part of the formula. So it's still getting multiplied, so I'm going to put times. Now 4/3 is a fraction, which is a division problem. So 4 divided by 3. Now I have everything that I need. Pi times radius times radius times radius times the 4/3, which is part of the formula. So this is it. We are done. 1,766.25. So this time we didn't have to round. It was actually exactly 2 decimal places. And these are cubic centimeters again. And that is it. This is our volume of this sphere. All right, you guys, so go ahead and work on the assignment that is in Schoology. It is called Volume of the Sphere, and go ahead and complete it all. If you finish early, go ahead and work on any missing assignments, any corrections, especially corrections to CBA 3 test or CBA 4 test. Those are worth a big portion of your grade. So even if you are above a 70, say you got an 80, you can make corrections to that, and I'll give you some extra credit points. Okay? Thank you.